It's Numistacker back with you today to talk sovereigns again. I never get tired of sovereigns. I hope you don't either. Since I originally started talking about sovereigns and talking about how to build wealth through sovereign collecting, sovereigns have gone up around about 200%. They were about 1/3 of what they are right at this moment. And I thought it may be a good time to do a little retrospective and take a look at the advice that I gave back then, because pretty much everything I said still holds up. And not only does it still hold up, it's been proven in action over a period of years. And with the continued devaluation of paper money, of fiat currencies, that advice I think holds up better now than it ever has done. Those of you who a few years ago started to get really focused on collecting gold instead of going down to the pub and wasting money on a dozen pints of beer every night have certainly lived to create a much, much better financial outcome for themselves and their families over these last few years. There are certainly some people who say that they have done better over the last few years sticking to pure bullion, and a lot of collectors will only buy pure bullion because they can see exactly what the price it is day by day by looking at the gold price. Other people went for kind of a little bit more interesting options, which I call semi-numismatic, which have an interest both as the bullion and also as a collector's item. And there are other people who didn't buy bullion at all in these years, who bought really high quality collector's items. I think whichever category you're in, there are swings and roundabouts, but generally most of you guys have done pretty similar in terms of investment. If you bought the right sovereigns, if you bought the right gold back then it will have achieved a significant appreciation over the last few years, whether it was bullion or whether it was something which was more collectible or rarer or higher priced than bullion with a big premium. Stay with me and we're going to watch a little bit of a video I made a few years ago giving some I think pretty genuine investment advice in relation to sovereigns. Hi everyone, Numistacker back here with you. You know me as an NGC authorized dealer. Today I want to tell you about a platform that's shaking things up in collectibles. It is called Whatnot. Think of it as a live auction in your pocket. Sellers go live, showcase their items on camera, and you can bid instantly. It's fast, competitive, and interactive. More like a marketplace with personality than scrolling through endless eBay listings. What makes it fun is the immediacy. You see the item, hear the seller, and maybe ask a question in chat, and boom, you're bidding in real time. It's buying and selling turned into an event. I am giving it a proper test run myself this September with my first Whatnot auction. Just search Numistacker on the app, follow me, and join the stream. You might even snag something for your collection. See you there. Why do people in the UK invest in gold sovereigns? Everyone has their own reasons, but there are some fundamental reasons why they're particularly good investment. Capital gains tax, which is something of a potential problem, although in truth most people don't have that problem and never will. Sovereigns are capital gains tax free, whereas for example a Krugerrand sold in the UK as a foreign coin is not capital gains tax free, so it can be more profitable if you happen to make a gain on sovereigns, and that's not entirely, that would take quite a long time, and there would be indexation relief and stuff like that anyway. It could be an advantage. VAT under the European EU gold directive, bullion coins and older gold coins that are bullion in nature are not subject to VAT, and so that could be something which is quite useful as well. They're a good size, so another reason to buy them. They are the kind of thing that you can buy with spare cash, half a sovereign a month, 1 sovereign a month, and gradually build up wealth through a portfolio. And that can be a good means of kind of cost averaging over a period of time. They're attractive, there's a long history, there's lots of different varieties, you never get bored choosing sovereigns or owning sovereigns, very easily tradable. The margins on buying and selling them are very, very low. You could probably sell them to a dealer for spot less, 2% maybe, or even under some circumstances at spot, and they sell for 2 to 5% over spot, depending on the dealer. But lots of reasons why you may want to hold some of your wealth and some of your investment in these kind of coins. If you're an American, then it's an interesting alternative, widely available, widely bought and sold, maybe not quite as well understood as the American Gold Eagle as a bullion choice, or the maple leaf, but very interesting. I think if you are looking for a fractional piece of gold, this is as good as anything, and there is always some potential for gains in terms of numismatics. For example, if you go back a year, 18 months, the average shieldback sovereign was probably trading at £245 or so. I've noticed on eBay they tend to go, even if they're in fairly bad condition, for £350 to £400, and that's only in a year or 18 months. So if you did hunt out shieldbacks a couple of years ago, I think you'd be very happy with the gain you've made, and it would be much more than the gain on an American Gold Eagle or a Krugerrand, for example. I mean, if you guys have seen quite a few of my videos, you'll know that I'm a big advocate of sovereigns. I like them, and over time I've grown to like them more than a lot of other choices of purchase, though I do buy other things as well. But as you can see from the coin that appeared at the beginning of this video, more recently my focus has been towards sovereigns with a premium, numismatic sovereigns. What makes a sovereign interesting or numismatic? It's a lot about mintages. It's a lot about whether the Marsh guidebook says they're scarce or rare, and it's a lot about how available they are, and it's a lot about condition. So those are the things that I've been looking at, and I think that that's my particular enjoyment of this beautiful gold coin. But I think I'm not usual, because most people who invest in sovereigns are only buying bullion. They're buying any condition. They don't care whether a sovereign is like this in beautiful mint condition or whether it's a pretty worn example. To them, it's all exactly the same and has exactly the same value. And whilst I do buy the odd bullion sovereign, mostly I'm looking for things which are collectors' sovereigns, and they can have a very big premium over the bullion. But it's not to say my strategy is the only strategy or the best strategy. It's just like one of a number of potential strategies for buying and for selling these beautiful coins. So let's look at where the best place is to buy sovereigns, and I think it very much depends on whether you're after bullion or whether you're after something more numismatic. Let's take bullion sovereigns first. If you're in America, then all of the big bullion companies like Atmex, Pinehurst, JM Bullion, all of these companies stock sovereigns, and they usually have what's called random sovereigns, which is where you're buying based on price over spot. The price in the States is normally about $320 for a regular bullion sovereign, $350, $360 for a kind of basic proof sovereign. And you can occasionally find deals on eBay bucks and discounts which can even bring these coins under spot, because their general margins are so small. So it doesn't take a very, very high eBay bucks or nectar promotion we have in the UK to actually enable you to get these coins at a very, very good deal indeed over eBay. If there aren't any eBay promotions, then random coins from Pinehurst or APMEX can also be pretty good value, I think. Another good hunting ground for these kind of basic bullion coins in America, or in fact the UK as well, is Facebook groups. There's lots of private individuals who sell these coins, who want to trade in a very efficient way without paying eBay costs. The place that they would normally try and sell is on a forum or a Facebook group, and so go ahead, have a look around Facebook, join a few groups. There's silver groups, there's gold bugs, there's gold sovereign collectors. There's a variety of groups, and you can ask to join those or be recommended by somebody to join them. Some are closed, some are open. In the UK, and you want to buy bullion sovereigns, places like Atkinson's, Hatton Garden Metals are both very good sources of sovereigns at a pretty low margin. Also the Royal Mint Bullion, slightly higher margins, but you can then buy all the new bullion coins and new sovereigns as well. Numismatic sovereigns are interesting. Where do you go for numismatic sovereigns? There are lots of dealers. The dealers can be very good places to go, or they can be overpriced. Sometimes there are bargains. Sometimes the dealers are a little bit behind the game and the auction prices take a hike upwards, and the dealers don't adjust their stock prices and sometimes sell coins for less than you would have to pay at auction. Should you buy sovereigns at auction? I think auctions are a great place to buy sovereigns, but be very, very careful of the premiums, the buyer's premium. Buyer's premiums at auctions, the cheapest I've seen in terms of buyer's premium is 10% for cash at greatcollections.com, which I've bought from a number of times. They're based in California. But there's also Goldberg, Stax, Heritage, and in the UK, Baldwin's, Coin Cabinet, Dix Noonan Webb, Morton and Eden. There's a whole variety of auctioneers. Some are good with bullion sovereigns, some are good with more numismatic sovereigns. But if you are thinking about buying bullion sovereigns at auction, be a little bit careful, because the margins on these coins are tiny, and a lot of the sales I've seen for bullion sovereigns at UK auctions in particular would be more than the cost of buying the same coins at a bullion dealer without the buyer's premium. So be careful. Let me know what you guys think. I'm really hoping that you found that a very, very useful addition to your own thoughts on investing in sovereigns. And and if you did decide to invest in sovereigns compared to something else, then it's great. Don't overdo it. Keep it a reasonable proportion of your assets, and see how that goes. I think that some people say, well, we're at £600 a sovereign, pretty much. Maybe 580 for the basic ones, up to 750 for some of the more interesting ones, unless they have a particular rarity, and that's pretty high. It's not easy to find £600-700 in these days where everything costs so much, every shopping basket costs so much, day to day costs so much, but it is definitely worth making that effort to sacrifice a few things in order to build a little bit of gold for the future. One thing is absolutely certain: the value of paper money is only going in one direction. Over the next 15-20 years, it's going to at least half, and that's if everything goes very, very well. So don't keep too much in paper, fiat, regular assets. Buy gold, buy stocks, buy real estate, buy things that are going to protect that investment over time. That's all from me, and hopefully I'll be able to bring you another video pretty soon. If you haven't already subscribed to the channel, please do click the button subscribe, bang the notify bell so that you get told when the next time there is a Numistacker video coming out.